School.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please sit down. First of all, welcome to the headmaster. Many thanks to the trumpeters and to the bagpipes, to the musicians, to the technicians that have made this live broadcast this afternoon possible, and to those of you watching at home, a very warm welcome. Whether you're watching on BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, Sky. It's been a very, very busy morning. In fact, it's a reflection of the kind of week, the kind of term that we've had. It has been an extraordinarily busy morning. And for those who say that men cannot multitask, oh yes, they can. And they've had to, because there's so much going on. For example, later this evening, we're going to the pantomime, 150 of us, to see Louis Spence and Ben Watson strutting about the stage at the White Rock. And they are looking forward to Buxwood going there this evening because we have packed out the stalls, which is rather good. Managing to actually allocate the places and make sure that you're with your friends has been something of a nightmare, but we've just about got there, I think. So most of you will be sitting with someone that you know. Notwithstanding that, we have been teaching all the managers and teachers this morning because it has been a normal working day, despite the fact that some of the international borders, as you know, we have borders from over 43 different nations, 44 different nations and rising, and they have been setting off home to different parts of the world, leaving some of their friends behind them and many of the day children. So it's been a normal working day for us, and we've had to pack a lot in. When I met a German family yesterday, they asked me how many subjects the juniors learned at school. And they were absolutely astonished when I said 13, including 3 languages. We have also some juniors that, in addition to the 3 languages, are also learning Latin and a host of other languages. And on a Saturday morning at Buxwood, there is a tremendous amount of learning going on. Many students in uniform going to various classes to learn languages and to take additional O-level GCSEs and studying very hard. I'm going to tell you a couple of things that have interested me over the last 48 hours. We had a coffee morning here because we're a very inclusive community at Buxwood. We like the parents to come in and see what we're doing and to share coffee and mince pies with us. And that's what happened yesterday. And one of the mums who used to be at a school not 100 miles away from here, another independent school, which will remain nameless unless, of course, the headmaster blurts out the name from the congregation, said to me, you know, we have a child, or we had a child at the last school that used to go around saying to other children, "I hate you." I was astonished because that is something that I've never heard here. And I said, well, that wouldn't happen if, if a boy moved over here, he'd find it absolutely refreshing. We would never say that to each other, because at Buxwood, as the headmaster constantly reminds you, you are part of his family, you're part of a family, but he is the head of the household, just as the Prime Minister is the head of the cabinet, and I'm a cabinet member. I'm one of the headmaster's generals, which is why I'm dressed as I am. And in all those years that we've been managing the school and looking after juniors, I've never heard a student say to another, I hate you. And I'm glad that at Buxwood, we don't behave like that. If anything, we are very inclusive, which means that we bring everybody into our family. We have a great reputation in the south of England for bringing in children who are unhappy at other schools for all sorts of reasons. Maybe they're just too clever, and other children threaten them because they answer questions in class. I've known that before. Maybe they're not very good at sport, but they're tremendous at music or drama or art. The good thing is that when you come to Buxwood, it's a breath of fresh air because you can be yourselves. Nobody will interfere in your happiness, because that is at the cornerstone of much of what we do at Buxwood, whether it be junior school, senior school, or sixth form. There is a great interaction between the older students in the sixth form and the younger ones. In fact, in the boarding community, which is one of the most thriving boarding communities with over 240 students living here in the south of England, the headmaster ensures that all the juniors have an Argonaut, an older brother, a mentor, a guide, a protector, a big brother figure to look after them. And I know that last Saturday they went up to London, to Hamleys, and they buy each other a gift. It's a token of appreciation from the younger guy to the older one, and from the older mentor to his tutee. And I think that that is the type of example that is set to the rest of you to follow. Then I heard of a parent who telephoned today in a panic. Are you Buxwood? Yes, we are. My daughter is being bullied at X school. Please, can you take her, because we know your kids are happy and are doing well at Buxwood. Well, it's the last day of term. You're leaving it a bit late. When would you like in? Next year, the year after? No, we'd like in tomorrow. Well, you can't come tomorrow because we'll all be on holiday. It's Saturday and the school's closing. But you can come in January if we've got a space. So I had to look at the lists, which are pretty full. And we've always tried to move children and tighten them up a little bit to make space for one more if they're really unhappy where they are somewhere else. And we do that quite successfully. So we are going to send out one of our famous lifeboats, like Grace Darling, and we're going to row out and we're going to pull this girl aboard to the HMS Buxwood and take her on a cruise of discovery that she will never have experienced in her life, and one which I hope will live up to Cunard standards. So that's one thing. So you are part of a large family, a caring family, where you look out for each other. I don't think I've ever seen any of you fight and throw fists at each other. I've seen it in other schools, but it doesn't happen here. You're very lucky to be here. In what other ways are we a family? We're all going to the pantomime. We've all been on various trips. We go to places like Venice and Florence and Prague and Hong Kong and Japan and Swaziland, just to name but a few of the destinations, because as I say to you often, very often without wrecking the technology in here, that to travel is to gain a fourth dimension to your education. It is to be able to place everything in context. You learn everything about the world in geography, but there is no substitute for going to those countries and learning about other cultures and other nations and their imports and their exports, looking at their rivers, their mountains, and learning about their climate. So whenever you get the opportunity to travel, that is what you must try and do. It will broaden your horizons. Now, talking about broadening horizons, the headmaster some time ago said to the generals and to his wider staff, there is a very good website that tutors should show their tutees during registration first thing in the morning. And it's a website called TED, T-E-D, nothing to do with teddy bears, TED, T-E-D. It's a short series of lectures on very interesting subjects, some of which only last about 8 or 9 minutes, which is great for us because that suits our needs at registration. And we've been watching some fascinating ones. And I'll tell you why it's important to look at these. As I project them onto the whiteboard, I'm looking at the reactions of the students to see whether the message that is being delivered is actually hitting home. And we've had some fascinating ones. We've watched creatures under the sea suddenly transform and disguise and camouflage themselves such that they are mistaken for rocks when they're under attack. We have watched Japanese pufferfish map out the most beautiful equivalent of a crop circle to attract a female guest by impressing her on his architectural ability. The design is mathematically perfect. And I can see students thinking, you know what? There's more to life than science. There's more to life than we know. And I think there is. We have watched a new type of Google Earth. Instead of homing down onto the planet and looking at somebody's backyard, this pulls you out of the world into the universe. And it will show you where all the satellites and all the rockets and all the meteors are, and you can home in on them and you can double click. And for example, a space station will come up. You'll see it in real time. You will be able to see exactly where it's positioned. And alongside it will give you information about the space station, where it is, the speed it's traveling, how long it's been up there, how long it took to build, how much it cost, etc. Fascinating to be able to think beyond our own world. We've been watching one recently, which is it's quite scary because I think slowly we're going to evolve, if we're not careful, into robots. And we might be the last humans alive. But that's a long way off. This is a set of gadgets which can be worn. It's been developed, it's working now, it's been prototyped, with a little projector and a microphone and built-in computers. And if you go into the supermarket and you look at a tin of beans and direct your beam at the tin of beans, you will get a display on the supermarket shelf, almost a 3D display, telling you where the beans are from and how much they are and price comparisons. And you can focus in on somebody else. I could go up to maybe one of the students and project a beam onto the student, and it will come up with all sorts of interests that student has. Great at rugby, plays in goal for hockey, loves hamsters, likes to go to the theatre to see Aladdin, and so on and so forth. So these are the type of things that we are projecting first thing. So learning kicks off first thing in the morning here, and it doesn't stop until the bell goes at 5 o'clock. It doesn't even stop then because of this wonderful thing called Access Time. And for the viewers at home, here comes an advertisement. Access Time is quite unparalleled insofar as it is a walk-in service for any student at Buxwood who needs help with any subject, and they can go and see a subject specialist at no cost to the parent for 5 minutes or 40 minutes for extra assistance with their work, something which very much impresses parents here. So you're part of the family, you're part of a family of learners, and we try to provide a curriculum for you. The curriculum is the list of subjects that you actually study, which was described by Ofsted on their last inspection as being outstanding. The curriculum at Buxwood is outstanding. The opportunity for learning, fantastic. And we try as managers to sit down with the headmaster every week when we have a cabinet meeting, just as the Prime Minister does every week in Downing Street. And we go through long-term plans and objectives and ways in which we can improve and enrich the learning experience at Buckswood for you. That is our main motivation. Because when I look at you, and I'm looking at some of you individually, in fact, I'm always thinking that that boy or that girl may find the definitive cure for Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or a range of cancers. It will happen, boys and girls, I promise you, in your lifetime, maybe not mine, in your lifetime, there will be huge advances in medicine. Hopefully also with the creation of new antibiotics and all these other things that doctors are looking at the moment. So you have a tremendous future ahead of you where science, technology, mathematics is going to play a vital role, as of course do all the other subjects. Now, moving on to the third thing I want to say to you before we listen to some music this afternoon, and that is assessments. Now, for everyone at home tuning in and listening to this assembly today, at the end of every term, in fact, twice a term, but certainly at the end of every term, we read out the assessment scores. And it's the scores for effort, boys and girls, as you know, not just for attainment, not just whether you got 100% or 20%, but how much effort you made, because to the headmaster and to us, that is the most important thing. Are you doing your best? Nobody expects everyone to be a mathematician or to be a poet or a geographer, but we all expect you to do your very best. And that is rewarded because every 6 weeks, the headmaster will send a group of students who have worked very well down to our bistro on the seafront, St. Mary in the Castle, Poshicus Noshicus, for a lovely meal. And then we go and play crazy golf. And that's one of the many ways in which we reward learning here. There are many other ways, of course, and that's the commendations, which we will be giving out today to a number of you for house points, and your achievements in the assessments will also be rewarded for those of you that got first class and above. So there's been a lot going on. We've had a tremendous amount of musical success. We've had drama productions. There's a lot of fine art going on in the school. The debating society is alive and kicking. We're winning chess competitions. We're thrashing other schools at sport, which is why certain schools that will remain nameless do not want to play us in case they get beaten, because we're very good at that. In fact, there are many, many good things going on here. We're not a perfect school because there is no perfect school, just as there is no perfect human being. But we're as near to perfection as can reasonably be expected. And on that note, I'm going to invite the musicians to entertain us. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Headmaster. Good afternoon, Mr. Cassidy. School, guests, viewing. Yes, we're the next best thing in Buckswood School here, I would say. Can we move everybody ready, please? We're going to perform the song, Stand By Me. As realistic. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light you see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Charlie and Millie Mepham, you're through to the next round. Headmaster, you're through to the next round? I'm sure they are. Yes, he says yes. It's a yes. Okay, we move on now to the commendations. Given largely for house points, but of course, any teacher can recommend a child for an immediate commendation if the work is of a suitable standard, in which case then that piece of work is sent up to the headmaster, who can then sanction the award. And I know that there are 1 or 2 gold awards to give out today. For those of you that assisted in our stall down on the Priory Meadow last Saturday for giving up a Saturday to assist. So there will be a gold commendation going their way. So I'm going to ask my prefect, Jack Clemson, to come up and hand these to me 5 at a time. I will read them out and then you come up in the usual fashion and shake hands and then go back to your seat. So for house points, we have Clara Mathis, house points Healy Ramus, house points Mitchell Otinekwu, Ye Peng for house points, Amanda Yang for house points, and Hannah Turner for house points. For house points, Leah Humphreys, Artem Cousin for house points, and a gold for community service to Sally Martin, and a gold to Jamie Keane for community service, and a gold to George Sutton for community service. Community Service Gold Award to Florence Waite, a Gold Award to Bislan Yakubov, Gold Award to Oliver Roker, a Gold Award to Honey Rose Butler, and a Gold Award to Amy Roberts. And we have a gold award to Renee Aris. So it's been a busy week, it's been a busy day, and you're beginning to become a little DMOP happy. Remember, if you are going to the pantomime this evening, you may leave school from 4 o'clock. Immediately after assembly, you'll be going back to your lessons, unless, of course, we've moved already into afternoon break, in which case it's afternoon break. I will see some of you at the pantomime, but a number of you I won't see for 3 weeks now, and I'm sure on behalf of the headmaster and the managers, the staff, the entire Buckswood adult family, the adult team, we would like to wish you all a very happy Christmas, a very safe Christmas, and a very hard-working and prosperous new year. So remember, boys and girls, it's not just your Christmas, it's your parents' Christmas as well. Look after your siblings, look after your parents and grandparents. Have a good time. And we will see you all again back here for another assembly. Maybe it will be broadcasted, I don't know. It depends what sort of review we get on this one next time. But I know that there will be many of these broadcasts, not just the assembly, but the concerts, a wonderful concert that we saw the other evening, which was broadcast to the nation, and before that, various productions. So if you've been watching at home, thank you very much indeed for joining us at this assembly. Headmaster, thank you for coming to join us this afternoon. And boys and girls, you will remain seated, please, while the music plays us out, and I will actually release you form by form. Thank you. Music, maestro, please.